Concentrate harder. It's a good move because right there, Jeremitra's Butler was trying to prevent Jackson from getting inside. Big throw by Hasselbeck that time.
Jackson up to 91 yards on the day, has a touchdown back in the second quarter. From the 23, Alexander was a 360. And after all that, no gain. Sean Alexander is always smiling.
Yeah, you know what? He's having a good life, though. I mean, he's just having a good time. You know, the former #1 pick at Alabama, and he's played behind Ricky Water here, but enjoyed his bye week. Went down to a Fox pregame show. Was down in Los Angeles, had a good time. Heck, his daughter's name is Heaven. You know, I mean, he feels like this is heaven to him.
And she was born last year, the day the Seahawks played Seattle. In fact, he missed the first quarter of that game.
Yeah, he wanted to be there for a special moment in his life.
His demeanor reminds me a lot of Tiki Barber, who also had a big day today.
Huge day. Big win for the Giants down there in Dallas today.
Alexander. No gain. Adam Archuleta made the tackle. JB, what's going on down in Los Angeles?
Well, take a look. A lot happening in Denver. Take a look at this outstanding play, Kenny and Brian. Jake Plummer hooking up with Ashley Lee over his shoulder. Great concentration. Had control. It was challenged, but it stood. Denver now on top of Carolina, 2017, late in the fourth. Back to Kenny and Brian.
The two Jakes hooking up today. Jake Delhomme and Jake Plummer both came into the league in '97.
Both finding success on other teams. Plummer coming from Arizona, Jake Delhomme coming from New Orleans.
3rd and 9. Pass is caught by Corin Robinson. Stopped about 2 yards shy of the first by Tommy Holly.
You know who's the freshest guy on the field right now? Is the left tackle, Walter Jones. I mean, I can't imagine anything being easier than the way Walter Jones plays this game. He doesn't come to training camp, doesn't train in the isn't around the team in the offseason, goes down to Huntsville, Alabama. Got a home being built down there. It's just plays over in a couple seconds for him, doesn't get hurt. Started 110 straight games for the Seahawks here. Never in the training room.
34-yard attempt. Josh Brown extending the Seahawks lead. If you push trucks as a 16-year-old like Walter Jones did, you would feel pretty fresh.
There's a
playing in a football game.
Yeah, well, you're fresh and you're happy.
هل تريدون معرفة كل شيء عن واحد من أفضل اللاعبين المصريين؟ هل تحبون كرة القدم المثيرة؟ هل تحبون معرفة المزيد عن ناديه الجديد وحياته في هولندا؟ فلا تفوتوا إذن مشاهدة مغامرة غالي كل جمعة بعد جمعة فقط على الرياضية.
ما عندكش فكرة أنا سعيدة قد إيه؟
محتاجة مساعدة؟
ليه؟ ما عرفتنيش؟
والله ما عرفتك.
صباح الخير.
وحشتيني.
مش باين.
لما انت جنبي تبقى الدنيا وما فيها.
مش هتدخلي ولا تقابليه إلا بإذني.
ها عملتي إيه؟
الفرصة تجيلك لغاية عندك، تقولي لها لأ.
ما تتصوريش انت معزتك عندي دلوقتي بقى شكلها ايه.
مشوار امرأة بطولة نادية الجندي خلال شهر رمضان على قناة المسلسلات.
This is Dan Rather, anchor and editor of the CBS Evening News. We can't do it perfectly, no one can, but we do our best to report accurately and fairly on the CBS Evening News, every day here on Orbit News.
That's the workhorse of this Seattle Seahawks team, the offensive line. And if you want to see a team that's undefeated in this league, and there's 4 of them right now, Kenny, look at the offensive line and look how well they're playing and who's on it. Hutchinson and Walter Jones from the Pro Bowl a year ago. solid veteran Robbie Tobeck at center.
Marlon Harris brings it out to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, that's the foundation of a good football team right there. Chris Terry at right tackle. You know, an offensive line will always sit down together. You got the right tackle, the right guard, the center. I mean, these guys are, you know, they're creatures of habit. They sit down the same way that they line up. Yeah, Walter Jones, he gets the last seat on the bench right there. You got to save room for the 4-time Pro Bowler. You know, and they miss him during training camp. But Walter is one of those franchise tag guys. He's waiting for the big long-term contract, and if they're not going to get it to him, he'll just play one-year deals at a time.
Bulger, Steven Jackson, but Anthony Simmons was right there.
I tell you, these guys are flying around, and they're having some fun, and they're making a name for themselves. This is what the #1 ranked defense in this league coming into today has done so far. 3 interceptions from that secondary, 2 by Lucas, 1 by Trufant, a couple of sacks, deflected passes, and they've held Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce to 71 combined receiving yards. Now to Ray, the sky is still going to fall today. Something still went wrong. He's still not going to be happy.
Well, they gave up 10 points for the first time this year.
Yeah.
Seahawks had allowed 13 points over their first 3 games combined. From the 31. Broken up. Trufant nearly had a second.
Yeah, he was trying to. There might be a little competition going on in that secondary about who's going to get more today between him and Lucas. C-Dents?
Defense.
Defense. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's Trufant here. These guys they've been playing mostly zone today, but to be a great zone team, you have to have excellent man-to-man skills. When that ball's in the air, you got to be able to break on it. Like you see the Ram receiver slipping, you don't see the Seahawk defender slip.
Trufant, aside from his interception, has broken up 3 passes today and has 7 tackles.
That's a good afternoon.
3rd down, 13. Bulger, pump fakes, throws, complete. 1st down. Isaac Bruce into Seahawks territory, and there is a flag, a 20-yard pickup by Bruce.
Well, if you give Mark Bulger and Isaac Bruce that much time, they will find a way to complete a pass down the field. Like this is going to be a late hit.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 99, a hit to the face mask. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Yeah, I tell you. With Bernard in his face, stayed awfully calm. You know, that clock inside a quarterback's head right there. Ooh, that was right. That's just, they're going to throw that flag every time. Bulger still didn't take his eyes off down the field after Rocky Bernard slammed 2 paws on his helmet.
Rocky Bernard already has 3 sacks this year.
Well, the guy that they like in this defensive line right now is the rookie right here, number 90, Marcus Tubbs. Big guy out of Texas who has some good pass rush ability.
1st and 10 from the 34 of the Seahawks. Sidearm throw by Bulger. Incomplete. Intended for Sean McDonald.
Well, you know, any pocket quarterback, whether it's Kurt Warner, Bulger, you know, these guys that like to set their feet, if you can disrupt them, make their feet move, not let them get set, you're always going to destroy the rhythm and the timing of it.
So that Jets score, they lead by 2 in the final minute, one of the 4 remaining unbeaten teams. Falcons lost for the first time.
Yeah, and Mark Bulger has been hurried 18 times today. Great pressure put on by the front 4.
On 2nd down, Jackson. Tackled by Rocky Bernard. After a gain of 2 down to the 32-yard line.
You know, coming into this season, you know, the Seahawk team, they hadn't played well on the road. They only won 2 games on the road last year. They lost in the playoff game up in Green Bay, and the schedule makers didn't do them any favor. Their first 2 games this year was at New Orleans and at Tampa. And they went down there and they took care of business. And it was the defense that did it. They kept them in the games. They shut the Saints down. They shut Tampa Bay down. And that really got this whole thing ignited. They got a swagger now going on the road.
3rd down and 8. Bulger firing. It's caught by McDonald. 1st down inside the Seahawks 10. Sean McDonald, second-year receiver out of Arizona State, picks up 24 yards.
You know, even though they gave up a big pass play there, and that's not going to make Ray Rhodes happy, they still are able to tackle and get the guy down. You know, St. Louis still isn't able to just go down the field and beat him on deep passes. They're giving things underneath right now. They've got a three-score lead at the moment. They're giving up those kind of passes. But any good defense wants to defend its goal line, regardless of the situation.
From the 8, 1st and goal. Bulger looking end zone and hits the crossbar with the pass. Intended for Torrey Holt.
One guy that we haven't talked about for the Seahawk defense is Chike O'Keefer. He was the right end last year, and when Wistrom came and signed, O'Keefer went from right end to left end, and he has 2 sacks today. He's been a real workhorse guy now. He's kind of a flaky guy. He's out there. Him and Grant get along real good together. He's been coming off the edge against Grant Williams, a former Seahawk, and he's having a good afternoon.
O'Keefer and Wistrom met by chance in Hawaii during the offseason.
Really, like on some wave out there in Honolulu.
Bulger still on his feet. Throws to the end zone, and the catch is made for a touchdown by Brandon Manu. Surrounded by Seahawks, able to make the catch for the Rams score.
And I'm not sure if that ball was meant for him. Kind of think that he was looking at Isaac Bruce in the back of the end zone, who was actually out of bounds on the play, beyond the end zone line. But what a catch by the tight end. Bulger just kept himself alive. Guys nipping at his feet, stayed on him, kept his head up.
An 8-play, 66-yard drive. Wilkins for the point after. So the Rams within 10 with 5:34 remaining in the 4th here in Seattle.
Bobby Taylor working on him. They've got him sandwiched. I mean, that's a double team there. Wow. He went up in a crowd of 3 defenders. Look at the protection here. Guy's nipping at Bulger's feet, keeps his head up. Look how he got that ball off like that. That thing came out sidearm, came out high. Look at that. Ball was, I think, tipped inside there by Anthony Simmons. Well, that's Chike O'Keefer getting another hit on him. That didn't feel good.
So the Seahawks, for the first time this season, have allowed 2 touchdowns in a game. They had given up only 1 touchdown over their first 3 games.
That's Manu Leona. Sorry, well, I mean, help me out here, Kenny.
Manu Maliuna.
Yeah, you know, and it's the end of the day here. I'm just, that guy is as big as an offensive tackle. He's 300 pounds, and he's a great blocker. They can get some receptions like that out of him. It just bounces offense up even more. Remember last week, the 3 touchdowns the Rams scored were all first career touchdowns for all the guys that scored. McDonald, Goodspeed, Jackson, and Steve Jackson.
Now remember, keep this in mind, Brian, Rams have only 1 timeout remaining. They used 2 already. Morris on the return to the 20. Seahawks heading to Foxborough next weekend, and so are JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. America's #1 pregame show will hit the road to the home of the unbeaten Patriots. Jimmy will count down his 10 greatest teams of all time, plus 10 yards with TV. Fox NFL Sunday from Foxborough next week.
Remember, Belichick in this offseason went down to visit Jimmy Johnson down in the Florida Keys where Jimmy lives, and Belichick really wanted to kind of pick his brain about, you know, the dangers of repeating and what stops a team from repeating and how you escape those traps. Feeling too good about yourself and too confident.
Patriots last loss to the Redskins last September. Alexander, as the Seahawks will look to get some time off the clock.
This is when a good offense kicks it into gear. You know, I mean, the defense needs the ball back in the worst way. They're going to try to strip the ball. They'll gamble like crazy, just jamming the line of scrimmage. This is when an offense can really establish itself. You know, you get to 55 minutes in a game, and if you can just get a first down after first down, melt the clock, you know, and not allow the Rams offense to come on the field, that can make you feel as good about yourself as anything you've done all day.
Under 5 minutes remaining, second down and 8 from the 23. Alexander. Alexander out to the 30-yard line, gain of 7. Tommy Polly made the tackle stop a yard shy of the first.
And here's the key third down right now, 3rd and short. You bet that Alexander will get his hands on this ball again as they try to run down this clock.
Mike Holmgren with some ties to the city of St. Louis. He was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals back in 1970, went to training camp, quarterback out of USC. Seahawks hoping the clock goes even quicker than it has been. 3rd down and 1. Alexander. Let's see where they spot it.
Boy, the Rams offense is up off the bench. They want another crack at this. The yellow line, of course, is the first down line, and looks like they're short.
The short, says Pete Morelli, the referee. And the Rams have used their final timeout, which means if they want to challenge a play prior to the 2-minute warning, they cannot.
Remember last week we were in Cleveland and Joe Gibbs didn't have any timeouts left at the end of that game, and a call outside the 2 minutes, chance to challenge it, maybe overturn a fumble. Didn't have it. Mike Martz says he doesn't care about timeouts. He'd rather get the play right, no matter how early in the game it is or in the half, to get the play right rather than rely on it.
However, he might not be able to get a play right on a potential challenge. He does not have any timeouts left. Of course, under 2 minutes, any potential challenge goes up to the replay booth. Good punt by Ruin. This is McDonald. Sean McDonald
needs a few blocks.
Out to midfield, and it's Heath Evans, the backup fullback, who finally forces him out of bounds after a 33-yard return.
The Rams still have life. They may be trying to play fast and furious. It might be a little late for it, but there's still life with this team here on the road.
Line of scrimmage will be the Seattle 41. Mike Martz and the Rams trailing by 10.
One thing you know about any defense going up against the Rams, they all know how dangerous this team can be, regardless of the score or the time of the game. And so you can never shut it down against this offense.
.337 remaining from the Seattle 41. Jackson, the lone back. Bulger to the air on first down.
Got him. He's
going
got him.
deep.
Wow.
Touchdown.
Oh, man.
Kevin Curtis. 41 yards.
Oh, that was a strike. And man, can this offense strike fast.
We welcome those of you who have just joined us, who have been watching the Broncos and the Carolina Panthers. .330 remaining, fourth quarter here in Seattle. For those of you who have just joined us from Denver, the St. Louis Rams, who trailed 27-10 just moments ago, have now pulled to within 3. A 41-yard touchdown pass from Mark Bulger to Kevin Curtis.
Well, Bulger here is going to pump fake to the right. This is double coverage. Bobby Taylor there, Terrell Vieira, Trufant. I mean, Kenny Lucas, that's the first time this year a receiver has gotten behind the defense for a touchdown like that. And there's no excuse for that, because you should be playing deep to short. You should never allow the receiver to get behind you. And here today, Lucas, a couple of interceptions. Bulger getting hot here in the fourth quarter.
Bulger has thrown 2 touchdown passes, also ran another one in. Marshall Faulk only 46 yards. Now remember, the Rams do not have any timeouts remaining. Is it too early to onside kick?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think you still have 3.5 minutes to go. You got the 2-minute warning, which is going to stop the clock. I think, you know, the defense feels pretty good about itself, Kenny. They just had a 3-and-out for Seattle in the last series. I would kick off here. You just saw that offense scored on one play. I mean, they have that kind of striking ability. Jeff Wilkins, their field goal kicker, has got a good, strong leg. Kicked a couple over 50 yards this year.
The Rams with 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes, 4 seconds to pull to within a field goal. Wilkins kicks it off. Taken at the 6 by Maurice Morris. Trev Faulk, yet another tackle on special teams for the Rams following the 19-yard return by Morris.
Well, the Seahawks trying to stay undefeated, trying to get to 4-0 for the first time in team history, trying to stay on track with the Eagles, with the Patriots. This is a huge series right here, and it's really on the offense right now. Hasselbeck has been efficient today. You know, 14 misses there, 7 of them have been drops by his wide receivers. He's actually been much better than what those statistics look at.
Seahawks led at the half, 24-7. It's now a 3-point game. Hasselbeck to the air on first down.
Held on that time.
Torrin Robinson took a hard hit from Kwame Lassiter, but made the catch up at the 36.
Mike Holmgren getting a little aggressive here in the play call and getting Hasselbeck out of the pocket. He does this very well. Gets his feet set going that direction, and that time he went back to Robinson, who's had a number of drops today. Allowed him to go earn his check.
A Seattle first down. Remember, St. Louis without any remaining timeouts, so the Seahawks will try and work this clock down.
Different formation here, a bunch formation by Seattle.
Hasselbeck to throw again, and this one is incomplete. Bobby Ingram, usually sure-handed, unable to make the catch. Clock stops, 2:35 remaining.
Well, that's the key right there, is it stops the clock, Kenny. Well, he's got Ingram wide open in the middle of the field. You don't see a single defender around there, and they threw it behind him. That was a miss on Hasselbeck that time.
Second and 10 coming up. Seahawks lead by 3. Three wide receivers set. Alexander out across the 40.
They should run this down to the 2-minute warning here. Be a third down coming back after the timeout.
Seahawks will take it all the way down.
It really is going to come down to one play here on third down.
It'll be 3rd down and 5. Remember, the Rams without any remaining timeouts. They used 2 in the 3rd quarter, 1 here in the 4th. They have come back from a 17-point deficit, trail by only 3 with 2 minutes remaining in Seattle.
Take it to the top with the NBA preseason on Orbit ESPN. Superstar Yao Ming takes his Houston Rockets to China for a preseason friendly against the Sacramento Kings. Basketball conquers the Far East as the Rockets and Kings tip off live from China Thursday at the following time on Orbit ESPN.
From the U.S. elections to the war in Iraq.
We may have increased terrorism rather than decreased terrorism.
From the issues at stake in the international arena to your own environment, news matters, and it matters where you get informed. Orbit News has proven in the past 10 years to be able to bring into your homes a variety of sources, opinionated and experienced journalists, accurate reports.
Hoping that we fire the entire administration November 2nd.
The widest spectrum of views at your service.
That's the wrong direction, and that's the wrong leadership for America.
So if you want the full picture in these crucial times, stay tuned to Orbit News.
Come on, give me a watch! Hey!
What started as a fairy tale.
Darling, stop worrying about it. I have a very good feeling about this.
Turned into a nightmare.
My father just returned from his honeymoon with a stripper he's known less than 2 months.
She was one of those lap dancers. Oh, that's disgusting.
He does not like he is.
Please, just give me another chance.
No more chances.
A crime of passion. Saturday at these times, new and exclusive on Super Movies.
Well, the passing game of Seattle today has been some good and some great. Excellent throws and catches, and then it's been full of drops as well. The inconsistency in their passing game from the receivers right now is hurting this football.
3rd down and 5. If the Seahawks convert, they will be able to run out the clock. They must get to the 46 for a first down. Hasselbeck in trouble. Down he goes. Lost the football. Looks like the Seahawks have recovered. They will be forced to punt, and it will be the place kicker, Josh Brown, who will punt. Tom Ruin out with a pulled hamstring.
Kenny, they broke down the protection of the Seahawks that time. Leonard Little, their best defensive player by far, is unblocked in this play. Everybody squeezed down to take the blitz inside, and Leonard Little was right on top of Hasselbeck. Couple of really good defensive series by the Rams defense the last 2 times on the field.
So the place kicker, Brown, forced to punt here, Brian, with 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining. Seahawks use a timeout. Tom Ruin, the veteran punter, on the sidelines with a pulled hamstring.
Well, I tell you, regardless of what happens here today, in New England and Philadelphia, when they've gotten leads like this in the 4th quarter, they put teams away. They don't allow the opponent to get back into the game. And Mike Holmgren right now wants to know if this is all nightmare here in the 4th quarter. Give credit to Mike Martz and his group. They've kept clawing, fighting. Bulger has gotten razor hot here in the 4th quarter. See if they can keep this thing going. Josh Brown has not been in this situation before in the NFL.
Punter back in high school.
Rams playing for a return all the way. They're doubling the outside guys here, playing for the return.
Brown gets it away. Sean McDonald tackled at the 37. 35-yard punt. Tracy White, the tackle on special teams. Mark Bulger in this 4th quarter, 5 for 9, 90 yards, 2 touchdown passes, 1 interception.
Well, here it is. I mean, Seattle came in with the #1 ranked defense in the league. Mark Bulger's got a little smile on his face. Who's going to win out? This Seahawk defense trying to hang on here, trying to keep the Rams from coming down the field, and you get the feeling that if Bulger gets time, he can't be stopped right now.
Rams need to go about 30 yards to get into field goal range. Falk thought about running before he had possession.
Yeah, and I think Mark Bulger's down. Oh, no. It was actually Orlando Pace that was down. You don't see him on the ground hardly ever. That might have been the first time today he was on the ground.
Comes up limping.
Yeah. He's a mountain there on that offensive line, though. He'll go out there and play on the one leg, whatever he's got to do. Wilkins, who has kicked one from 53 yards today, or this year, Rams got to get to Seattle's roughly 35-yard line for him to have a shot.
From their own 36. Wow. Into Seahawks territory, Isaac Bruce. Down to the Seattle 37 with 1 minute remaining.
Plenty of time for the Rams. No need to rush, no need to clock the ball here. We'll stop it.
27-yard pass play from Bulger to Bruce. And now with 52 seconds remaining, the Rams are very, very close to field goal range for Jeff Wilkins.
Well, you know, the Rams lost a game a couple of weeks ago to New Orleans like this. Look at Isaac Bruce here. See, the zones are playing a little softer right now. The holes are a little open because they're trying to defend the deeper pass first. And you're giving those kind of openings. And Isaac Bruce just takes that ball right out of the air aggressively, just ripping it out of the air.
Rams with 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. Trail by 3 from the 37. Bulger escapes. And the Seahawks keep him in bounds. Brought down by Michael Boulware at the 34.
Orlando pays to a block on Grant Wistrom to allow Bulger to at least gain a few yards on that scramble. You try and pick up the first down here, go up and clock it, and then make a decision whether to kick it or not. They're in good shape here.
3rd down and 7. Bulger. Wow. To the outside, and the pass is caught by Dane Looker for a Rams first down. Clock stops. 13 seconds remaining. A gain of 16, and here comes the place kicker, Jeff Wilkins.
You know what? I kind of think that they should take another shot to the end zone here.
I agree.
I mean, there's 13 seconds to go. This is a great throw by Bulger. They get out of bounds. There's 13 seconds here. Seattle can't stop you at this point. Why not take one shot to the end zone? If it's not there, throw it out of the end zone, kick the field goal. But at least, man, go after them one more time. Keep them on their heels. Keep pressure on them.
Similar to that playoff game against Carolina?
Very similar. Except Bulger's razor hot right now.
36-yard attempt. Wilkins' kick to tie the game is good. The Rams have come back from a 17-point fourth-quarter deficit with 8 seconds remaining. We are tied at 27.
Now this gives meaning to Fast and Furious. This fourth quarter is the way Mike Martz wants to play the whole game. Does he like this? Does he live for this stuff? He doesn't want to be down 17 points going into the fourth quarter of many games, but man, like a little kid out there celebrating. I think, though, they should have taken one more shot to the end zone, Kenny. Because even if you get caught in bounds, you probably still have enough time to come up and clock the ball to get your field goal team on the field.
The Rams have scored 17 points in the last 5 minutes, 26 seconds. 2 touchdown passes by Bulger. One to Manu Maliuna, the other to Curtis. And the 36-yard field goal by Wilkins. This game is tied with 8 seconds remaining in the fourth.
You say to yourself, how can this happen? How can a defense that had 3 interceptions and sacks and completely befuddled Martz and his offense for 3.5 quarters become unglued like this? What happens is the mentality is don't give up the big play. Don't give up the touchdown. And you keep playing further and further back. You give up more and more room in the zones. And all of a sudden, Ike Bruce is catching passes underneath and you're getting plays like they've just made.
Brought out by Kerry Carter. 17-yard return. 4 seconds on the clock.
Kenny, I think people thought this was going to be a great game. That this was going to be the marquee matchup here this weekend. And for 3.5 quarters, it didn't really live up to that. But this offense that everybody is scared of is alive and well right now. And it's the passing. It's the passing game of Mark Bulger and the receivers right now that are getting it done. And the defense has forced two big stops here in the fourth quarter to get the ball back for the offense.
So we are headed to overtime here in Seattle. Rams have already played an overtime game this year, lost to New Orleans 2 weeks ago, 28-25. Seahawks led this one 27-0. 10 with just over 5.5 minutes remaining in the fourth. The Rams score 17 points in the final 5 minutes, 34 seconds to tie the game.
Well, if you're Mike Holmgren right now, and you're trying to stay undefeated, and you're trying to be the first Seahawks team to go 4-0, and you want to go to Philadelphia, out of New England undefeated next week, you've got to get your confidence back. You know, you've got to get the offense on the field. But, you know, he knows what way he wants to go if they lose the flip.
Hasselbeck's going out for the coin toss. What do you think he'll say?
We want the ball and we're going to score.
We are going into overtime. This will be a sudden death overtime. By rule, each team will have 2 timeouts. Fourth quarter timing rules will be in effect, and instant replay will be conducted from the booth upstairs. This is heads, this is tails. What's the call? Heads is the call. Heads it is. They've won the toss. St. Louis won the toss.
The St. Louis Rams will get the ball first in overtime.
المركز الرياضي يضعك في الصفوف الأمامية وينقلك إلى قلب الحدث. تغطية مباشرة وتحليل لأهم البطولات العربية والعالمية مع نخبة من ألمع الخبراء والصحفيين الرياضيين. المركز الرياضي مع ياسر علي ديب من الاثنين إلى الجمعة مباشرة على الرياضية.
Headed to overtime. Rams and Seahawks tied at 27. Rams 17 points. The last 5 minutes, 34 seconds.
They can't be stopped here. You know, 2 touchdowns and a field goal the last 3 drives and in just a little over 5 minutes. It's a confident group right now. You know, they're not so ready to relinquish top billing in the NFC West. They're still the division winners. They came in today kind of the underdog. Don't tell that to Mark Bulger.
Josh Brown gets overtime underway. Arlen Harris on the return, stumbled out across the 25 to the 29. A 17-yard return. Alex Bannister brought him down. Time to check in once again with James Brown in Los Angeles.
All right, a wild one in San Francisco, down by 8. Tim Rattay hooking up with Brandon Lloyd, a 23-yard touchdown pass to make it 28-26, and then the 2-point conversion, underthrown purposely. The receiver makes a nice adjustment. That to Lloyd as well. All tied at 28. Big game for Rattay. Back to Kenny and Brian.
Thanks, JB. So both NFC West matchups go right down to the wire. Rams start from their own 29 in overtime. Pass caught by Curtis, who scored one of the fourth quarter touchdowns for the Rams. Gain of 4 out to the 33, setting up 2nd down and 6.
This is what it looks like here. You see St. Louis in the second half. Completely different football team. Seattle has not allowed that kind of yards, passing yards, scores in the first 3 games, but they hadn't seen an offense like this all year.
From the 33 on 2nd and 6, off the play fake. Bulger can't find anyone downfield. Now dumps it off, and it's dropped by Marshall Faulk.
Marshall Faulk, 2 uncharacteristic drops here late in this game now. Boy, Mark Bulger's getting protected. I mean, he was under fire for the first 3.5 quarters. Isaac Bruce on the sidelines right now. Kevin Curtis in there. Don't know what could be wrong with him or what is wrong. Certainly want your best players on the field, if healthy.
Rams today, 60% on 3rd down, 9 for 15 on 3rd down, facing a 3rd and 6. They have to get to the 39. Bulger uses one of the Rams' 2 timeouts here in overtime.
Got a lot of young receivers out there right now. Sean McDonald, Kevin Curtis, Dane Looker. Looked like they were just getting confused trying to get lined up.
Each team gets 2 timeouts in overtime. Rams with 1 remaining. Talked about it earlier, Brian. These teams, this is their 5th game as division rivals. And they always seem to be close games that go right down to the wire. Baseball coming up tonight. Cardinals and Dodgers, game 4 of the National League Division Series on Fox, following football.
Yeah, I tell you, big day for sports watching in St. Louis, huh? Kurt Warner and the Giants, the Rams here, and the Cardinals tonight.
No time to leave the sofa.
No. Extra bag of chips.
From the 34, first down, Torrey Holt. Out across the 45. Gain of 13 yards on Holt's 5th catch of the afternoon.
You know, they've thrown a couple of interceptions today, 3 interceptions. And when you play like this, when you attack defenses, Mark Bulger said you can't worry about the bad plays. You just keep moving. It's like fast break basketball. You're going to turn the ball over. You're going to have some bad plays. You're going to miss some easy dunks, all those kind of things. You just keep throwing. And that's what Mark Bulger's doing right now.
From the 46, keep it on the ground with Falk. And he is across midfield into Seattle Seahawks territory. Gain of 5.
Mark Bulger said that on Wednesday they gave him 135 new plays to study. Took the books home with them, studied 2 hours a night, came back Thursday, another 135 plays to study. I mean, I wonder what number of play they're on right now in this playbook here in overtime.
Only 135?
Yeah. Deep into the playbook.
And he has to take playbook home, draw out each and every play.
Draw up every play, every night.
2nd and 5 from the Seattle 49. And Steven Jackson is bottled up. Hit for a loss of 4 by Isaiah Kazavensky.
Been a while since the Seahawks have stopped the Rams from a positive game. See, they got them all up at the line of scrimmage right here. That's a run blitz designed to stop the run. Mike Martz said something pretty interesting. He said, you know, he sees everybody sees us motion and shifting and movement. He goes, a lot of times we do that for the running game. Try to get what we want in the running game, not just the passing game.
Rams have to get to the Seahawks 45. Bulger going through it all. McDonald, end zone, touchdown. Rams win in overtime. 52 yards from Bulger to McDonald.
Mark Bulger's already in the locker room. He knew as soon as that ball left his hands that they had won. And that is sudden death for the Seahawks. You can never count the St. Louis Rams out of any game, anywhere in this league, at any time. When they have the weapons and the talent that they have. And people can criticize Mike Martz all they want about play calling. This passing game was unstoppable in the last 10 minutes.
23 St. Louis Ram points in the last 8 minutes, 36 seconds. Sean McDonald scored his first NFL touchdown last week. Takes it all the way, 52-yard reception in overtime to put an end to the Seahawks' 10-game home winning streak, and they send Seattle to their first loss of the 2004 season.
Well, not only that, though, Kenny, they said that we are not relinquishing our title here in the NFC West. It's still our division to win. Mark Bulger celebrated by running into the locker room. Getting off the field, he's going to have one heck of a trip back home.
.325 yards in the air for Bulger, 3 touchdowns. Rams win it in overtime.
Hello! No! I'm on a boat in Holland! الضحك مستمر خلال أكتوبر على السوبر كوميدي مع 6 مسلسلات جديدة. رجل ب1000 وجه The Ali G Show. عائلة من غير توقف My Big Fat Greek Life. مفاجآت الكاميرا الخفية مع Trigger Happy TV UK و Trigger Happy TV US. أفضل الكوميديين في بريميوم بلند. أي شبه لشخصيات حقيقية صحيح That's My Bush. زائد حلقات الموسم الأخيرة من The Drew Carey Show وحلقات جديدة من Happy Family. كل هذا وأكثر خلال أكتوبر على سوبر كوميدي. اضحك من أول نظرة.
Seattle Seahawks fans stunned as their club led by 17 with 5.5 minutes remaining. Our UPS leaderboard, Mark Bulger, 325 yards, 3 touchdowns. Sean Alexander, 150 yards on the ground for the Seahawks. Sean McDonald, the game-winning touchdown reception for the St. Louis Rams. For Brian Baldinger and Amy Van Dyke and Kenny Albert saying so long from Seattle. Now to James Brown of the gang in Los Angeles.
Welcome to the SBC postgame show, brought to you by SBC, going beyond the call.